The galaxy of the 41st millennium is an absolutely terrifying place, where untold species of horrifying Xenos not only live, but also flourish and regularly expand their sphere of influence. Through terrible acts of genocide, the slaughter of trillions of innocent Imperial citizens, or the complete decimation of their neighboring civilizations, there are hundreds of massive, but also minor Xenos empires that have slowly crept their way into humankind's history. Although the Tau have been well documented, we are relatively unaware of their allied alien armies. On the other hand, we have hundreds of documents and records on Xenos believed to have been cleansed from the face of this galaxy during the Great Crusade. Yet recently, these same creatures have somehow popped back up in small snippets of terrible astropathic reports. To give you a better understanding of these woefully underrated and frankly super interesting Xenos species, I have picked out 5 of my personal favorites that I think will absolutely blow your mind when you hear how cool and absolutely scary these guys are. So get a snack and get ready for the 5 most terrifying Xenos species we need more lore on. Number 1. Vespid. Standing only a couple of inches taller than the average Imperial subject, these 6-eyed insectoid alien soldiers appear upon the battlefield in great fluttering packs, hailing their arrival with loud chittering, bright neutron blasts and the scraping of diamond hard claws on ceramide plating. These hordes of aviating stingwings are utterly hated, but also simultaneously feared by Imperial commanders across the galaxy. Part of the fledgling Tau Empire, these Vespid stingwing strains are mainly used as quick response aerial shock troops alongside the more commonly seen crisis battlesuits. They are employed for scouting, backing up Tau pathfinders, and obliterating key enemy objectives, like devastating command outposts and obliterating important supply lines. With 6 eyes total, the Vespid are capable of seeing 3 different light spectrums at the same time. One set perceives the ultraviolet range, one set perceives the normal visible spectrum, and the last set perceives the infrared range, allowing them to pick out hidden enemies with relative ease and remaining highly effective even during the disorientation of continuous bright flashes on the battlefield. Although technologically quite advanced, the Vespid never managed to reach space travel by themselves. Their technology and culture are based around the mining and trading of a form of green neutral crystal found at the bottom of their floating landmasses. Although useless by itself, due to some mysterious intervention or perhaps some dumb luck, the Vespid are seemingly capable of activating these crystals with the exact frequency of their fluttering wings, allowing the resonation within the crystal to build up into a flashing beam, capable of stripping the atoms of anything caught in its path, kind of like a mini gauss flare. Originally unwilling to join the Tau Empire, or even perceiving the blue mammals as fellow sentient creatures, through the development of the Communion Helmet, the Tau managed to overcome this apparent communication barrier. To their surprise, the recently quite hostile strains of Vespid suddenly became highly enthusiastic to join the greater good, going so far as to almost beg to join the Ethereals that had offered them this amazing opportunity. Although absolutely incredible in their design, and in a way inspired by wasps or bees in the current time, which is just so freaking cool, we barely have any decent stories that heavily feature the Xenos species. Their models are quite old and have begun to show their age, and most mentions of them in the more recent Tau-centered books at most have a single line or paragraph featuring a note or two on these super scary insectoids. We know they are capable of tearing apart space marines in mere minutes, and we know their alien approach to war could make for some absolutely terrifying scenes and stories. It's a real shame we have so little lore on them, and I'd like to see them be featured more often. These guys definitely deserve it. Number 2. Zoats. The enigmatic and resilient 6-limbed centaur reptilian race, known as the Zoats, emerges from the shadows of speculative origins and a tumultuous history. Possessing a unique blend of physical prowess and linguistic finesse, the Zoats are believed to have possibly been engineered by the Tyranids themselves, serving as a potential slave race, or even originating from the genetic stock of the Tyranid home planet in a distant galaxy. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Zoats is their natural ability to almost instantly comprehend and fluently speak any alien language. Their communication extends beyond mere words, incorporating gestures, sayings, and movements that convey more than entire native sentences. making them the ideal candidates for both diplomatic and ambassadorial roles. However, their promising start quickly took a dark turn, as within a couple of years, the constant string of failed missions, talks, and rebellions led the Tyranids to abandon this diplomatic strategy and instead opt for the Zoats' consumption. Despite their enslavement and connection to the hive mind, the Zoats' resilience shined through, with at least one ship managing to escape the clutches of the Tyranid hive fleet. Unfortunately, their encounter with the Imperium shortly after resulted in the utter obliteration of their vessel, leaving only a handful to navigate the vastness of space. Remarkably, about half of the Zoats, when free of the hive mind's control, exhibit psychic abilities like the power of resonation, allowing them to implant messages and ideas directly into the minds of others, adding another layer of mystery and misdirection to their already questionable nature. Now liberated, the Zoats are commonly seen wielding archaeotech weaponry, amassing large amounts of shiny relics, and operating as nomadic mercenaries for the right amount of Imperial credits. One intriguing figure among them is the Archivist, a Zoat known for aiding collectors and explorators in the infiltration of the Blackstone Fortress. However, the Archivist's legacy is marked by a trail of unfulfilled promises. He disappears once his concealed goals are achieved, leaving companions perplexed, stranded, and empty-handed in the depths of the hellish fortress. Number 3, and probably a fan favorite, the Harud. The Harud are a nomadic species that is seen migrating along the event horizons of expanding warp storms, with a purpose unknown to Imperial scholars. Perhaps these terrifying Xenos are driven by a deep need to feed upon the bodies of their decaying victims, or possibly even taking bliss in parasitically evaporating civilizations unlucky enough to lay in their migrating path. Draped in mystery, the Haruds generate a field of entropy from their biological bodies, inducing rapid aging across all materials in their vicinity. Plants turning to ash in mere minutes, buildings crumbling and faltering at their mere presence, and even humans can feel their bodies physically deteriorating, aging by the second as their imminent death quickly approaches. Rumored to be semi-warp based, the Haruds shroud themselves in a miasma of constant shadow, the continual entropy breaking down light around them, completely misting them from their unaware prey. In their nocturnal existence, the Haruds also emerge as the creators of the Harud Fusiles, coveted artifacts occasionally available on the Imperial black market. These warp plasma-based weapons, described as plasma muskets, possess an insane mechanism that faces a plasma bolt between real space and the warp. Inquisitor Cryptman notes that these fusiles, in combination with the Harud's entropy fields, wield destructive power similar to a chemical combination of plasma and melta discharges. The lore surrounding the Harud remains mysterious and prone to retcons, evolving from the initial portrayal as nocturnal space skaven with entropy fields and tunnel cities called Yunlocks, to a more recent depiction as the goopier and kinda weird looking creatures we know today. Despite the billions lost during the Great Crusade, the Harud have persisted, causing disruptions with their mass migrations and randomly popping up every couple centuries. Recent encounters involve clashes with the Star Phantoms chapter, the Dark Angels chapter, and even a confrontation with Ursarkar E. Creed before his untimely demise, making the Harud an enduring and nearly unstoppable plague in the galactic tapestry. Number 4. The Slaught. In the vast and dark reaches of the Warhammer 40K galaxy, a sinister presence lurks and grows. This horrifying Xenos is known by various names: the Maggot Man, the Worms that Walk, and the Dream Eaters. Towering at a formidable 3 meters tall, these maggot-like masses take on vaguely humanoid forms, and are capable of stretching and reforming their bodies at their own will. Their boneless fluidity allowing them to move with obscene grace, as they play out a macabre dance that conceals their true form. Dubbed the Slaught, these beings operate from the shadows, employing covert tactics of misdirection, manipulation, and maggot-induced mind control to achieve their goals. Due to operating in relatively small numbers, the Slaught actively avoid open warfare, preferring instead to sow fear and chaos, which has been rumored by Xenos biologist researchers as a way for the Xenos to feed. The Slaught mind control captured slaves acquired through unseen travels around the Imperium, actively trade with other Xenos species, and regularly orchestrate forceful takeovers after years of inevitable political control. During the Rangdang Xenocides, a series of campaigns within the Great Crusade, the Rangda species displayed symptoms of the Slaught murder minds, suggesting a possible connection between the two species. Through great military campaigns and the loss of possibly upwards of 100,000 space marines, the Rangdang were pushed back into the depths of their own home systems, now believed to have been fully eradicated. A more worrisome, and possibly later, revelation was the possible hint at the Slaught's potential objective to completely undermine and sabotage the reunification of the Imperium of mankind, trying to destroy the brand new empire before it was too large and widespread to be actively controlled. Rumored to be highly technologically advanced, some say even more than the Eldar, the Slaught are seen as a real threat to the Imperium. Many atrocities and terrible historical events can be traced back to these dark influencers, and the Inquisitors of the Ordo Xeno do everything in their power to quickly dispose of these monsters before they can endanger entire Imperial sectors. The origins of these horrifying Xenos remain shrouded in mystery, with speculation pointing at systems beyond the Halo stars, right beyond the edge of Imperial borders. As the Imperium grapples with these nightmarish entities, the Slaught's presence looms ominously, a reminder of the ever-present threats lurking beyond the known reaches of our galaxy. Number 5. Enslavers. The Enslavers are true horror beyond comprehension, psychic beasts that can only be described as the most horrifying of parasites. They are bloated flying ticks, 8 slimy tentacles dangling underneath their swollen bodies, with a face that can only be described as a misformed arachnid head with a couple too many eyes. They levitate across the surface of doomed worlds and could crush a grown man whole with their clumsy size. Enslavers start off as a tingle in the back of the minds of untrained warp-gifted individuals. These can range from your young human psychers all the way to a careless farseer of the Eldar. They fester and influence their unaware prey, slowly turning them into a husk of a man. Within 72 hours of initial infection, the eyes of the psychers sink back into their skull, black circles crowning their dead stare, their skin paling by the minute, their movements no longer their own, their mind no longer in control. This is when the flesh change happens. The psycher's brain ruptures outwards as his body is ripped apart in a fury of flashy snaps and wet crunches. What is left of the unfortunate prey can only be described as a flesh gate. Within seconds, a warp portal opens within the gate's confines, and 3 fully grown enslavers materialize from the warp beyond. These jellyfish-like creatures then start influencing living beings nearby them, hunting and searching for new psychic prey that can be used to materialize even more of their kind onto this doomed planet. Unfortunately, not just psychers are affected. As the enslavers multiply, they develop the capabilities to enslave even non-psycher souls. Normal workers, cooks, priests, and scribes will all fall prey and do nothing more than their new overlord's bidding. Their influence growing and their corruption spreading. Within a couple of days, a hive city will fall, and within a couple of weeks, a planet can be consumed. The enslavers hunt for new prey, and if left unchecked, methodically grow their numbers beyond counting within mere years. Only planet-wide extinction can save the souls of these damned citizens, as the only way to end an enslaver plague is by starving them of their only goal, to consume the minds of the living. Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something new or just really enjoyed the Xeno species I covered today. What terrifying Xenos is your favorite? And if Games Workshop added new lore to these races, what would you like to see added? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Don't forget, the official Gaming Storyteller Discord is now open to the public, so click the link in the description below and come post some grimdank memes. New main videos are coming every week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.